Big news day starting the week of July 7th, 2024. The vice president's husband has been infected by a novel coronavirus. Senator Warner is thinking about options to replace the president. Senator Kaine is keeping tight-lipped. And Virginia Republicans believe that Virginia is in play. It has not been in play since Barack Obama took Virginia in 2008 when Senator Tim Kaine announced that old Virginia, is dead. Another big news story in Virginia today was that several faith leaders who had declared themselves quite non-essential during the pandemic have decided to target the televangelist Joe Osteen because evidently he is making so much money that he is taking away from people who might be coming to them to give them money. As reassuring as that must be to the people who might want that. And in Arlington, the most educated by credentials municipality in the entire Commonwealth, a Commonwealth where education, we are ranked 6th for losses in reading and math due to the closures of public schools, despite the fact that in this 70th year, the anniversary, celebrating Brown v. Board of Education, which stood for the proposition that today education is perhaps the most important function of state and local government, and where the state provides it should be provided to all, which obviously did not happen during the pandemic, particularly in public schools, where they had closed for 2 years. But there were no suits in Virginia regarding the closures of churches except for Hannibal, and there were no suits brought anywhere in the nation regarding the closing of public schools. But today in Arlington, apparently 596 donors have assembled $93,000, and today starts the first trial to challenge the county board on the missing middle, the issue that has been popping around for quite some time in Arlington, in terms of putting apartments in neighborhoods, and people do not want to have apartments in their neighborhoods. It destroys the neighborhoods and so forth. But it's very, very interesting that when they changed the name of high school, parents, custodians, guardians of children in school had only 30 days to challenge school board action, and somehow some children were able to manage this and raise some money to do that within 30 days. Now, when they were thinking about masking children in public schools, over 1,000 people had signed up online to demand that the school board mandate non-medical grade facial coverings that over a decade before, the NIOSH, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, a subdivision of the CDC, had performed a simulated challenge study and determined that these substitutes for respiratory protection would be wholly ineffective in a respiratory tract infection pandemic. But here in the community with the most government scientists, 1,000 people thought that somehow one-ply cotton was impervious to microbial penetration and demanded that the school board put masks on children. But today, trial starts for opposition to the missing middle, $93,000. However, one case that has not been reported at all was the case that the parents, the custodians, and the guardians did not bring when they closed public schools. The case that they did not bring when they mandated that children wear these substitutes for respiratory protection that It would not work against this virus, particularly since it is a virus that has long been known to be transmitted not by droplets, but by aerosols, fine particles that persist in the air for hours. Let me just give you an idea of what this means. The N95 mask, you know why they call it N95? Because it will, this is science, it will effectively block any particles 0.3 microns or larger. 0.3 microns. How small is a micron? About the width of your hair string. You can put 350 microns on a period on a piece of paper. That's what we're talking about. That's how large a micron is. Now, why wouldn't your mask that you got from 7-Eleven work? Very, very good reason. Okay, first of all, when you're talking about an N95, this is hydrophobic. That material, it repels water because they don't want to have things going in. If you put plastic over your mouth and nose, what's going to happen? It'll make it breathe. That hydrophobic quality on the N95 mask you would suffocate with it on. That's why there is this respirator that filters the air that is only going in, not the air going out. You could be expelling as many contaminants as you possibly can. It does not stop those from going out. So you're not protecting anybody else when you're wearing an N95. However, when we're talking about just the size, and size matters, the largest SARS-CoV-2 particle, and now we're not even talking about the virials, the largest particles are 1.4 microns. 1.4 microns. That compared to tear gas. The smallest configuration particle for tear gas is still 6 times larger than the largest SARS-CoV-2 particle. If you put a piece of cloth on your face with 2 rubber bands, as Dr. Ralph Northam had suggested, would you feel safe in tear gas? You could try it if you want. I can assure you it doesn't work. However, we have known for a long, long time that large particles are not how COVID-19 was transmitted. Rather, they were transmitted by virials. We know this really since the World Health Organization dispatched 1,800 teams, or at least 5 epidemiologists, to China to examine some 55,924 laboratory confirmed cases. That's 19 times more cases that they had examined by February 20th, 2020 than were even reported in the entire United States by March 15th when we began our lockdowns. And what they had seen at that time is really worth reading this 40-page report, because it told us just about everything that you needed to know early on about the coronavirus, and had people that were parents in schools read this report, perhaps they would not have closed the schools. There were only 45 cases in the entire state of Virginia. There were only 5 cases in the county of Arlington, but they closed schools in a heartbeat, and they stayed closed for 2 years for public schools. This message was approved by Major Mike Webb. Honest. And y'all come back now. Yeah.